As a true African American, meaning that I was literally born in Africa and am now a citizen of the United States and have lived a majority of my life in the States, I have oftentimes said this. To all those people who have this delusion about, moving back to Africa, going back home, blah, 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 right? Those individuals who believe that America is not home because of slavery, because of white supremacy and racism, etc. Again, I would not stop anybody from making any moves. As a matter of fact, I endorse many of these moves. However, I'm not going to sit here and tell a whole lie like most of these people would not survive. Most of them wouldn't make it. And it's not because I'm selling this image of Africa as a scary place, though it depends where you are, because Africa is a huge, massive, the largest continent, right? There are 55 nations in Africa. And there are a multitude of tribes, there's a multitude of peoples, etc. So depending on where you are, you may feel right at home. However, life is different in most of Africa. I was born in Zimbabwe, lived a little bit in South Africa, and then we moved to the States. First, I was in Texas for a little bit, but I really grew up in California, right? And other countries I've been to in Africa, Kenya, I have also been to Ghana. Ghana was the most recent one. And though I absolutely loved Ghana, I loved Accra, I loved Tamale, I did. I loved my experience there. But to live there in the reality of what most people are experiencing there, once you live in the West and you have the conveniences of living in the West, you have the certainties of living in the West. I'm sorry, most people will not make it. Even I, who was born in some of these situations, right? Who knew what it was to essentially have electricity just go out maybe for a day or two. What are we going to do? Well, hopefully we bought a generator. Even though my family did the best they could to provide the life that they best life that they could, we were still in the midst of what Zimbabwe was. We were still in the midst of, what South Africa was unfortunately degenerating into at that time, post Mandela. So, and this ain't to be offensive to anybody who's back there, because y'all are living in the reality, and some people are living lavishly. Some people are living fantastic, but guess what? Most people aren't. So as an individual who believes you're going to go there and have some sort of magical Wakanda, ashwagandha experience, I'm telling y'all right now, that is not the case. 99% of the time, it's not going to be the same. You're used to America. You've been here for generations. If you want to go back, absolutely do it. But the reality is what homegirl right here who moved to Ghana is going through. Now, I have not watched this video. I just saw the title or the header for it, and I said, let's get into it, because I've been wanting to get into this conversation, or at least have a deeper dive into this conversation. And so here we are, the year of our Lord 2025.
But y'all, I'd rather go back to America and deal with.
Hold up, let me get my earphones plugged in. All right, let's get into it.
But y'all, I'd rather go back to America and deal with the racism in America before I sit here in Africa and deal with the bullshit bribery, the bullshit fraud, the bullshit scams, the bullshit too expensive.
This is already way too good. This is already, first of all, I do have to address, the racism in America. Look, tribalism in some nations in Africa is worse than the racism in America. And this is to also folks who live in Africa currently right now, wherever you may be. A lot of what is pushed and perpetuated about the black experience in America is no longer true. I'm not saying racism doesn't exist. I'm not saying there aren't people, but the systemic aspect, the police are hunting you down, etc. It's propaganda. They're selling you lies. They want you to believe in this idea. And there's people who hold on to this belief that everything is racism. They can't actually, they can't separate their own doings with racism. So it's like, I didn't get the job because of racism. No, you didn't get the job because you weren't qualified. The job wasn't for you. Or maybe, somebody else got the job and there's 1,000 other people who didn't get it. In the NFL draft, Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, Hall of Famer. Oh, my son didn't get drafted in the first, second, third round because racism. They're picking on him because of racism. How about the first pick was a quarterback like your son, a black quarterback on top of that. How about half of the most successful quarterbacks in the NFL right now are black men? How about the NFL has made more black millionaires than probably any other industry? So, yeah, let's continue. Sis is too real in this one.
Bullshit, not having no snacks. The bullshit, not having no food. The bullshit, electricity. The
I'm sorry,
bullshit, how
sis. Nah, yeah, electricity. We're running this back. This is too real. Snacks though, sis. You look like you're snacking. The jollof and the fufu is still smack-a-lacking over there. I'm just saying. The pounded yam, the yam is yamming. The yam is yamming.
bribery, the bullshit fraud, the bullshit scams, the bullshit too expensive, the bullshit not having no snacks, the bullshit not having no food, the bullshit electricity, the bullshit hot water, the bullshit what's that shit called that be coming down?
Bullshit lizards.
The bullshit animals, it's scorpions outside the house, it's big ass spiders, it's big ass lizards, colorful lizards you ain't never seen before, all in the fucking room with
You take roaches, maybe a rodent or two, over them big ass lizards, flies, mosquitoes.
you, sleeping with you, all the bullshit people trying to scam you when you go outside thinking you rich. So they trying to get more money off of you. I'm really trying to wrap my head around this shit. I'm really trying to wrap my head around how are Americans coming to Africa and being happy. Please comment down below. Because for me,
a lot of them are like the Steve Harveys of the world, and he didn't move to Africa, right? He was there for a while, ignited the African Family Feud, or Family Feud Africa, which he actually owns, him and his partner. But they lived a different experience. Even when I went to Ghana, I didn't have to live in the villages of Tamale. Like, we had a hotel right outside on the outskirts. You understand me? A nice hotel. When we were in Accra, because my auntie is very well to do, we were in a very nice place. I was not in the thick of it, in the weeds of it. So even them, they got a nice little spot. Oh, by the way, constant insulation. Hot is different hot, okay? Unless you're like in the South in America or something like that, you probably have experienced this type of heat, or if you're in Arizona or something like that. But the hot I'm talking about frying pan skin. You understand me? Lotion sizzling on your skin hot. It's hot, and it's humid. It's sticky. It's personal. It's in your face. It's thick. It's viscous. You understand me? There's a viscosity to the heat.
I'm ready to
Viscous.
go. And I always used to say, if it's up to me, it will be. And I'm going to go out to Africa and make shit happen. No, I don't want to. I want to take my businesses back to America. I want to open up shop back in America, open up my dentist office, and all the stuff that I was going to do out here in America. Steady electricity. And the only time our electricity get cut off is when we don't pay the bill.
Facts.
And we got it so good now, we got prepaid electricity. So if we forget to pay the bill, we put some money on that prepaid thing and it comes right back on in 2 minutes.
America, you are spoiled in comparison to most of the world. Spoiled, including some European countries. Spoiled. They sell you this image of America's trash. America's this. The anti-America rhetoric, the anti-America propaganda is out of control. Out of damn proportion, as my girl would say. It's out of proportion. You have been sold this lie that America is anything but one of the greatest, if not, in my opinion, the greatest country. It's afforded me every opportunity that I've had. And when I've traveled, when I've been in different places in the world, when I am in different places, I want to go back home and build business. I want to go back home and build industry. Home is home. Oh, why don't you build up Africa? You see sis who came from America trying to build things, and you see how it's going for her. The bribery, the corruption, the socialist mentality of these leaders who want everybody to be poor and themselves to be rich. At least in America, you got a choice. All that foolishness. Well, because of Donald Trump, I didn't like Biden, I didn't like Obama, etc. But guess what? It was still America, and I still made happen what I needed to make happen. So,
in less than 2 minutes, this shit right here didn't come on for 14 hours yesterday. I can't deal. I love the people.
Stress.
Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. When I'm
Yeah.
outside, I'm
Beautiful
having
people.
fun.
Yeah.
I love the people. But when I come back to reality,
Yeah.
when you come back home,
Yeah.
home is where the heart is, right? When you come back home, you're supposed to feel comfortable. You're
She's
supposed to be
real.
happy. I'm not happy. To live in a house where you look outside and all you see is turkeys and ducks and chickens and sheeps and old malnourished cows.
I gotta tell y'all a story. All right. And if you're in a small town, you probably have some of the same type of tropes. You probably live around the goats, the sheeps, the chickens. Like, my folks, they got a place in, I'm not gonna say the location, but a small town. And I was staying with them for a little bit. And let me just tell y'all this. You wake up, you go outside. You wake up to, yeah, man. You got chickens crossing the street, literally. Why did chicken cross the road? That's a real phenomenon. You got chickens crossing the damn street. You got occasional goat. Somebody might be walking a damn goat. The dogs are walking themselves half the time. It's a sight to see. Small town living. But anyway, I was in Ghana. We're in Accra, Ghana. And we're on the freeway, the equivalent of it. And by the way, driving there is insanity. Like, it's survival. Is what it is on those roads. I'm driving down the street. Well, I'm not. My uncle is. And like all the cars are like parting like the damn Red Sea. You just see boo, woo, woo. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? What is this? First night I came here, I'm having somebody knocking on my window at 1 a.m. I'm like, what the hell is this? Dude is trying to sell me something. A few days later, now we in the street. Cars are just parting. And all of a sudden, we finally make it behind, like the main car that I guess was I thought causing all of this chaos. That car moves out the way. Folks, I shit you not. There is a cow running full speed on the damn freeway. A cow on the freeway. Welcome. Coming to Africa. That's going to be the next movie. If I'm to produce a comedy, one of them is going to be coming back to Africa or coming to Africa, because ain't no damn way. So anyway, I want to get into the comments for this video. Let me go ahead and pull this up. This is too good. This exceeds my expectations, because she described it in ways that I can't explain. It's just like, I know folks, they won't make it. If you living on the streets in America, like you likely have access to more resources than most people on the planet, at least 50% of the people on this planet. Any type of racism is unacceptable. Believe it or not, hating white people is racist too. Yeah, I don't know how this related, but it's true. Okay. Oh, I just realized y'all can't even see my damn screen. Okay. So that's what it was there. Boom. Turns out systemic racism exists in America against white people. 1 in 6 hiring managers have been, let me see. 1 in 6 hiring managers have been told to stop hiring white men. Survey finds. Ooh wee. That's troubling. Not related completely, but that's definitely troubling. All right, what we got here? I have a hard time believing she doesn't have food. Me too. Maybe her body's in storage mode. I'm loving all these videos and Americans leaving America only to realize America is the best. Yeah. That's how it goes for anyone who travels outside the U.S. In most of the cases, yes. No takebacks. That's funny. Everything happens for a reason. Sometimes the reason is you're stupid and making bad decisions. Facts. That's a bar. I'm going to like that. That is a bar. Look at that. You got the monkey about to end his whole life. It's like she didn't realize how good she had it. Facts. Absolutely. Physax. BS, no snacks. An all too common complaint. That's a complaint in America. It's not that the snacks ain't there. You just, you ran out of them because you ate them. Let's see. When blacks come to realization of the life outside of America, where they got it made, and everyone puts up with their BS only to. Let me address that. This is actually going to be the comment of my day. I'll finish it. Want to send the rest of them back to Africa that much more. I agree with the 80% of this. I'm like, yeah, I'm standing behind it. Black folk in America, you do not understand the level of black privilege you have in America. You don't understand how. You can complain, you can whine, you can cry, you can put out threats, whatever, and you're still protected. You go back to many countries in Africa, say something crazy about the president, see if you don't come up missing. Say something crazy about the president and see if you don't come up missing. America, you could put out songs. F the president. Off with his head. What happens to you? You might get a fan base off of that. I'm telling y'all, things ain't sweet like that everywhere else. No. I love a few places, but I am in love with America. I really am. That's why I go so hard. They call me a tether. They call me this. They call me that. Oh, you African. You ain't really American. I say, you know what? It's crazy because I might be more African than 80% of black folk in America as far as the love that I have for the country that has afforded me the opportunity. You may have your roots there, but you have a hatred and a disdain for the place that has given you all that you have. You are ungrateful. And you wonder why people run circles around you when they come here. Because they're not mucking about. They know what they came from. They came from sheep, goats, malnutrition, cows running down the street. That's what they came from. They're not going back. They're not going back. Okay? That's why you got such an uproar with the folks getting deported. That nobody wants to go back. You can protest. You can burn the American flag. You don't want to go back, though. You Viva la raza, Viva la Mexico, Viva la Mexico. They send your ass back to Mexico. We so sorry. Send us back to America. No, You over here. You over here. Pro-Palestine. Okay, be pro-Palestine. Okay. Be pro-Pisha. Be whatever the hell you want to be. Get your visa revoked because you causing a damn havoc on your campus. Now you want to be back to the country that you hate so much. The Western values that you hate and despise so much. Get the hell up out of here. Thank you, sis, for telling the whole truth. We're going to bring more of these types of stories, etc., to the forefront. I'm not just trying to make this a clown show. You know, somebody told me one time, they said, I really love your channel, but I just, it feels like it's like Maury or Jerry Springer. And sometimes, we sit here and we laugh. We have a good time. We look at some of the foolishness, but when it's all said and done, it's to the core. I really want the message to resonate most. And so I hope that's the takeaway. Be grateful for what you got over here. Simple. Till the next time. Deuces. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there, or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace.
I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 3-6-5, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising.